recover from the day's low. Profit booking seen in the broader markets.
Mid-caps and small-caps outperform. The mid-cap index falls over 206 points. Market breadth favors declines with the advance-decline ratio at 2:5.
Shares of AngelOne tumble after a weak showing in the third quarter. Shares of Indigo Aviation also decline. Aviation regulator sends a show-cause notice to the airline. And Mumbai airport after a video of passengers eating on the tarmac goes viral.
Hello and welcome to Markets Forward, the show where we aim to get you all the key data points that you need to have with you to gear up for the next trading session. I'm Surabhi Upadhyay, and with me, my colleague Nigel D'Souza. Hi, Nigel.
Well, hi, Surabhi, and we've got you covered for the next 20 minutes with all the big news and the key developments on Dalal Street, the top corporate voices, and the events that you need to track. But let's kickstart today's show with what transpired during the course of the day. Well, actually, it was a healthy day for the bulls as well as the bears. Both of them had their time in the sun in today's trading session because at one point of time, the markets were up close to 50 points. At one point of time, we were down close to around 60, 70 points or thereabouts. And if you look at it, some consolidation may not be such a bad thing, right? So it'll be because we can't come in day to day and just the markets keep moving up. Yeah. So I would actually read today's consolidated phase as not such a bad thing. Two stocks, though, were declining for every one stock that was advancing. So the breadth of the market actually was in favor of the number of stocks that were declining. If you pull up the advanced decline ratio as well, that'll tell you the picture. In terms of indices that did do well, the metal index, that popped up in trade in the final couple of hours, final 90 minutes or so. The intraday chart will tell you the picture out there as well, because there's hope that China is going to pump up the economy. And if that happens, they're going to be pushing through some stimulus. So that's why the metal index was the outperformer. But both those two defensive sectors that came back in the last 5 sessions or so, tech as well as pharma, well, both of them did come in for some profit taken. But not such a bad trading session, Surabhi. Some consolidation, as I said earlier, it's actually a healthy sign. You don't want to just keep going one way up because we know what happens on the way down as well. It can be equally swift.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So basically just a pause to digest, right? When you had a lot to eat, you want to sort of, just be a little easy on your stomach. And that's what perhaps was playing out on the market today. For what it's worth, the Nifty did manage to hold its head above that 22,000 level. So that's one thing that the bulls can take heart from. And sector rotation was pretty much the flavor of the day. So whatever has run up quite a bit in the last few trading sessions, IT, and of course, Reliance, these were some of the pockets where the money was coming off. But then you had new batsmen coming in, like Nigel always likes the cricketing parlance. So you had the middle order, some newer names coming, to the surface. ITC, for instance, L&T, these were the heavyweights that were managing to ensure that the Nifty doesn't go into a big sort of one-sided fall. And that's how it played out. On the broader market side, mid-caps also cooled off. But I must point out here that some of the PSU names that were still riding strong. I mean, IRFC, ITI, even names like, Hindustan Copper, Nalco from the PSU metals pack. That's where, it's impossible, almost impossible to put down the bulls.
Well, that's right. Well, here's what we have lined up on the show for you. Let's run you through that. First, we start off with all the movers of the day. Hormuz will be joining to tell us that. Well, there were also 3 stocks in focus today at AngelOne, Indigo as well as Syngene. We'll give you the key reasons why these stocks were buzzing in trade. And CNBC-TV18's popular segment, D-Street Chatter, is also on the show. Nimish will be joining in to tell us why Polycab was buzzing in today's session. And last but not the least, we delve into the key market events you need to watch for tomorrow's trading session, Surabhi.
Okay, well, let's straight away kick it off with our first segment of the day. Hormuz is joining in from the studios with the top stock movers of the day. Hormuz, over to you.
It was an off day, and as Nigel said, it was par for the course, right, after the run-up that we have seen. And as a result of which, the sectors, the high-flying sectors over the last few days saw a bit of profit-taking. Real estate was one of them, and Prestige Estates, Oberoi, DLF, almost all of them saw a bit of profit booking in today's session. What also took a break after the massive rally over Friday and Monday was IT, and almost all the major IT stocks, HCL Tech, Wipro, LTTS ahead of results, others, LTI, Mindtree, Tech Mahindra, all of them took a break today and saw a bit of profit booking. Earnings reactions, AngelOne, undoubtedly the stock of the day, massive cuts today after the margin miss that it had during the quarter, 14% lower there on AngelOne. FedFina, Federal Bank, Bank of Maharashtra had decent numbers, and Jio Financial Services also ending almost 7% lower. But the star of today's session, surprisingly though, was LIC, and that stock crossed its listing price today for the first time. Not only that, it also crossed the levels on which the policyholders were allotted shares, which was 889. It finally ended at 892, 4.5% higher. It's on the verge of becoming the most valued PSU. What also did well today was Amber Enterprises. The stock was up for the 10th day in a row today. It's up 25% now in the last 10 sessions, 2.5% higher there. On the flip side though, what did not do well was Sona BLW, and that stock was down for the 8th straight day today. The stock is falling towards its 50-day moving average, which is at 585, 1.5% lower there on Sona BLW. But IRFC, just no signs of stopping there. Another 9% today, 141 now on IRFC, up almost 50% in the last 6 sessions, and it is nearing market capitalization of 2 lakh crore rupees, a lot higher than many Nifty names put together. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Hormuz. Well, let's get in Shilpa, Rout of Prabhudas, Lilladher, as well as Bala of Cash the Chaos, who join us on the show. Thanks so much, gentlemen, as well as lady, for joining in. Well, Shilpa, you go first. We had a day of consolidation, a 50-60 point downtick. Par for the course, I would think, right? On the downside, what's the level you're looking at?
Talking about the indices, we have been, hinting on this, that some sort of consolidation or a cool-off period can happen, and this is what we saw today. Nifty consolidating and taking a breather at around 22,000 is what we saw today, and on declines till 21,900. I precisely think that will be a very good level to enter again, where you see Nifty heading towards 22,300 to 22,500. Likewise, Bank Nifty also on this declines towards 47,800. I believe is a very strong area to enter for a long, again towards 49,000 to 49,500.
Okay, all right. That's a view coming in on the indices. Let's now focus on the stocks of the day. First up, we have AngelOne. That stock reacted very sharply to the third quarter numbers that came out. The stock actually tumbled 13% as profits fell by 14% on a sequential basis. However, the company's client addition was strong in the quarter gone by. Upasna has all the key highlights. Upasna.
While AngelOne has reported its Q3 FY24 numbers, the revenue stood flat at 1,059 crores, while the total expenses saw an uptick of almost 10% sequentially. PAT stood at 260 crores with a downtick of almost 14% on quarter-on-quarter basis. The company's total client base stood at 1.95 crores with a growth of almost 14% sequentially. Well, company hosted a con call after its Q3 FY24 results, and here are some of the important highlights. The company says that the cost of acquisition has not increased, but Q3 was more about acquiring new customers, leading to a higher onboarding cost. Q3 is a quarter in which clients are not active due to holiday season, and also there were 3 trading days less in this quarter, impacting the volume is what the company has said. In terms of other expenses, it says that the company has added 107 employees during the quarter, increasing the employee cost, and they have also invested in technological capabilities. In terms of margins, the company says that the overall margins won't be affected in the long run, and there is no change in the long-term guidance of the operating margins, which they had guided prior, that would range between 45 to 50%. Overall, the company says from an industry standpoint, Q3 was a bit subdued. So all in all, that's the commentary coming in from AngelOne.
Smack back today. Thanks a lot for that, Upasna. Well, this Ministry of Civil Aviation had slapped Indigo as well as the Mumbai airport with a show cause notice today. This after a viral video of passengers eating on the tarmac at Mumbai airport sparked security concerns. Indigo, well, they have been quick to address that. The stock fell, though, close to around 2%. Danesh Anand joins us to fill us in with all of those details. Danesh, give us an update.
Well, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has served a show-cause notice to both Indigo and Mumbai Airport on the fact that neither the airline nor did the airport anticipate what could happen, since there were major flight delays throughout the country on Sunday, and they have been served the show-cause notice because they did not make proper arrangements for the passengers. In fact, the aircraft was parked at a remote bay, whereas it was supposed to be parked in the normal bay. So because of this, the passengers were unable to either use the restrooms, or they were also unable to get refreshments, and hence we saw that video in which passengers were having dinner on the apron. The second fact is that the aircraft, when the passengers were being shifted from one aircraft to another, no screening was done. They were supposed to take the passengers back to the inside the airport so that the bags and the passengers could be screened once again. And moreover, neither did the airline nor did the airport inform BCAS about whatever has happened, and hence the show-cause notice has been served. The Indigo as well as Mumbai Airport, they have been given time till the end of the day to reply to the government that why all of this has happened and why they did not make prior arrangements. And by any chance, if the airport or the airline fails to reply to this show-cause notice, then we can expect more steps from the government, and most likely a financial penalty can also be imposed by MOCA on Indigo as well as on Mumbai Airport.
Okay. All right, Danish, thank you very much for that. Indeed, quite an incident, and it has put Indigo right out there. Stock was down about, of course, 2%. Otherwise, it's had a pretty good last 1 year with a gain of almost 40-45%. So let's just go back to our experts and get some perspective on how they're looking at it. I don't know, Jay, hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. I'm not sure, do you track aviation? Any thoughts on Interglobe here?
Yeah, I do track. I think this move for Indigo might be looking like a completed move from the 2022 low. So it looks like a start of a significant trend change. And I think if Indigo were to go below 2,900, that will mark the beginning of a very large correction for the move that started from 1,600 to 3,100. So look for a trend change there. So this news might be start of a significant trigger.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for the Jay. Coming back to you as well. So we covered two stocks of the day. There's one more. Syngene was in focus today. UBS downgraded the stock to sell. Nimesh joins us to fill us in with details on that particular report. Nimesh.
Well, the stock ended 2.5% lower on the back of a big downgrade from UBS. So today they have downgraded the stock to sell from buy, and they've sharply cut the target price to 700 versus 875 earlier. Now, the key reason for the downgrade is challenging global environment as well as risk to the earnings cut. Now, UBS believes that their own thesis of headwinds for the company in the discovery and the dedicated segment, which accounts for nearly 70% of the revenues, that's not yet playing out. Additionally, they see that there is going to be a subdued VC funding in the biotech space as well as the larger pharma companies. The problems are going to persist in 24 as well. For Syngene itself, their own performance has diverged from the other CROs, suggesting that the headwinds are not fully priced in this market at this level. So they expect a softer second half for Syngene and some uncertainties with regards to the FY25 guidance as well. So while they like the long-term story, but from the near-term perspective, they find the risk-reward unfavorable, and hence a downgrade to a sell now, and they've cut the target price on Syngene to 700 from 875 earlier.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Nimesh, for that. Shilpa, let me toss actually both the stocks to you. AngelOne, which was the first one that we discussed, and also in case you've seen Syngene on the charts, what is the advice here specifically on AngelOne, considering it's had a dream rally and today comes a bit of a root shocker?
So if you look at the chart on a monthly basis, AngelOne has a very strong support around 3180 zones. The stock trading at around 3348 today, 3330 something. So I believe it is nearby to the support level. So on declines towards 3200, one can definitely think of entering again to go long till 3800. All the previous highs of 3800 something there.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that, Shilpa. Jay, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about the two pillars of the market. That's the IT index and the Nifty Bank. Any levels we should be keeping an eye out on both these two indices?
Yeah, the critical level for Nifty Bank is 46,920 to 46,880. If that is where taken out, we are in for a trend change for the banking index as well as probably for the overall market. But overall market would hold out for a bit because Reliance has an uncompleted, looks like it has got an uncompleted move. So probably, then Reliance could try to compensate if the supports level were given for the banks. When it comes to IT, 34,200 is critical level. If 34,200 were to break, the IT index will start posting a negative tilt. But as long as 34,200 holds, we can see the supports coming for the markets. But this looks like a completed move for me from the 2022 low for the Nifty IT index.
Okay, all right. Jay and Shilpa, thank you very much for joining in on the show today. Appreciate you being with us. We have to take note of all the top corporate commentary that we got today, and there was plenty of it. India's top bankers at Davos 2024, SBI chairman said that RBI's tightening of unsecured loan regulations is to avoid overheating of the system. He expects some rate cuts from the RBI in the third quarter of this year.
And Axis Bank CEO Amitabh Chaudhary also echoes SBI chairman on RBI's unsecured loan norms. He said that the regulatory is worried about exuberance on retail and unsecured loans. He added that the new norms will likely temper credit growth. Moving to the third quarter results, Federal Bank reported an inline set of numbers. The bank CFO expects the net interest margins to be stable at around 3.2%. He also believes they will continue to grow at around 18 to 20%. Well, with that, it's time to slip into a short break. We'll come back with a popular segment, D-Street Chatter, along with the top market events you need to track on the other side. You don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. It is time now for our segment D Street Chatter. Nimesh is here as always to give us all the buzz from dealing room. So a bit of a red day, some consolidation. Nimesh, what did you pick up?
Yes, so it was a choppy day of trade with some signs of profit booking in the broader markets in trade today. But in terms of individual stocks, the first stock on my list is Polycab. It's been in the news for the last many days, but in the last 2 days, some bit of recovery as well. I understand a domestic mutual fund has been an active buyer in Polycab in the last few days. And now all eyes will be on the earnings on 18th of January, because I believe there will be a lot of questions as well for the management to answer in that call, in this earning call. So that's the first one. The second stock is BSE Limited. It's only listed on NSE. Been consolidating for the last 3 months or so, but it looks like there was a selling going on. Seems like that is largely over in BSE Limited. So that's the second one. The third stock is Jupiter Wagon. The stock recently company also raised money via QIP. Been consolidating in a narrow range of late, but now understand there's going to be a large block deal as well in Jupiter Wagons very soon. And the last is a couple of IT names, both TCS and Infosys. Well, the stocks were under pressure today, but there are signs of buying interest back from larger FIs in the IT names. And additional to that, there was a small MOC as well in Wipro. So all the IT pack, while they were under pressure, was seeing some bit of buying interest back from larger institutions.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Nimesh. And before we wrap up, we bring you some key market events that you need to track. Ekta's with us to give us that list. Ekta?
Thanks for that. Well, I'll start with a whole host of numbers which will be due in our markets tomorrow. So we have the likes of Asian Paints, Happiest Minds, ICICI Pru Life, LTI, Mindtree, IIFL, to name a few. Now, in terms of the global data, we do have a lot of global data as well. For example, 57 results from the US. Alcoa, Charles Schwab will be reporting their numbers. We have retail sales data from December from the US as well, along with industrial production. We have the 20-year bond auction from the US markets as well. Separately, in terms of the UK markets, we have retail and producer price index, core consumer price index as well, and Japan, industrial production and machinery orders. We have the ECB president speaking at 3:15 p.m. GMT tomorrow. And not to mention, we will continuously have a lot of data coming in from Davos. Remember, it runs up to the 19th of January.
Okay, all right, Ekta, thanks for that. Well, on that note, we'll have to wrap up on this edition of Markets Forward. We'll be back with more news and updates on the other side.